Joy is a great teacher who has created many amazing courses and written a bunch of helpful technical articles. In this course, he will teach you how async, await, and promises work in JavaScript.
Hey guys, Joy here. In this video, we're gonna make ice cream and learn asynchronous JavaScript. Yes, you heard me right. We're gonna make ice cream today. And along the way, we're gonna discuss three topics: callbacks, promises, async, await, along with examples. The video will go like this. Over here, we're gonna make the main project, which is the ice cream project. And over here, we're gonna look at some examples so that you can better understand how the system works. But the first question is, what is asynchronous JavaScript and why should you even care? If you want to make bigger projects more efficiently, then this is for you. What asynchronous JavaScript does is it allows you to break down bigger projects into smaller tasks. And then using any of these three methods over here, either callbacks, promises, or async await, what you can do is you can form a connection between these small steps in a way that you can get the final result. So here's an example of what I mean. So this is the ice cream that we're gonna make today. Here is the ice cream, okay? So using asynchronous JavaScript, we can break it down into smaller steps. If we do that, it looks something like this. You can see that these are the 7 steps to make ice cream. First, starting with the place order, then we're gonna cut the fruits, then we're gonna add water and ice, so on and so forth, and at the very last, we're gonna serve ice cream. To make you understand this topic even better, I have added some time function as well. You can see this over here. It takes 2 seconds to place the order, 2 seconds to cut the fruit, 1 second to add water and ice, so on and so forth. And at the very last, we're gonna serve ice cream, take the money and buy ourselves a Lambo, because why not? If you want to learn asynchronous JavaScript better, you need to know the difference between two things, synchronous and asynchronous system. Let's start discussing with the synchronous system. Let me explain this to you in clear words. Let's say that I have given you 10 tasks and just one hand. 10 tasks, one hand. So how will you do the task? You're gonna do one by one, right? Like this, look. 1, 2, 3. So we are in task number 3, right? You cannot jump to the task number 7 unless you do 4, 5, 6 and then 7, right? So what are you doing? You are doing one by one, right? But in the asynchronous system, for 10 tasks, you will be given 10 hands so that you can work independently without depending on anyone. Look at this image over here. This is the synchronous system. They are loading one by one. The second image doesn't load unless the first one does. And the third image doesn't load unless the second one does, which means that they're following a order like this: 1, 2, 3. And on the asynchronous way, you can see that nobody depends on anyone. They are loading on their own pace independently. By the way, I wrote an entire article on the topic that we're gonna discuss today so that you can understand it better. At the same time, you can revise it from here more easily, efficiently and quickly. Link of this article will be given in the description down below. Go and check it out. To summarize, let's say that we are setting up a marathon for 3 persons. How many persons? 3 persons. If you are doing it in the synchronous way, what will happen is you just have one single lane and you have to place those 3 persons on this single lane in the serial of 1, 2, 3. And the rule is nobody can overtake the other. Everyone has to finish the race one by one. Look at this image over here. This is the synchronous system. This is the finish line over here, okay? And the images, which is the persons, 1, 2 and 3 are standing on the same lane. Which lane? Same lane. And nobody can overtake the other. Everyone has to finish the race one by one. So the person 3 or the image 3 will finish the race first, then the second one and the first one. Like this, the single lane, the synchronous system. If anyone stops, the entire process stops. If the image 3 stops over here, then everyone has to stop. And if we are setting the marathon in an asynchronous way, for 3 persons, we will have 3 lanes. If we have more participants, then the number of lanes will also increase, which means that nobody stops for anyone. They can finish the race independently on their own pace. If anyone stops, then the system still continues to run. Look at this image over here. This is the finish line and this is the participants over here, and these are the lanes, okay? Lane number 1, 2 and 3. The image 1, 2 and 3. They're gonna finish the race on their own pace. I hope you understand the difference between the synchronous and the asynchronous system. Let's look at some examples right now. You can use any code editor you want, but for this tutorial I'm gonna write it on CodePen because it has a simple interface. So you can follow along with me if you want. So open CodePen.io and then you click this pen over here. Then you're gonna click this small pen icon over here and you're gonna name this project anything you want. I'm gonna write it Async JS. Okay, and then you save it, Control S, like this, Control S. And now you're gonna drag it at the middle like this and double click on the JavaScript section like this, and it's gonna expand. And in order to open the console, you're gonna click this small icon over here. You can see that like this, double click on here and it's gonna expand like this. We need to do one more setting. You come over here, this small gear icon over here, click it, click on behavior and you enable everything except this one, the auto updating preview. Okay, turn it off, save and close, and then we're gonna manually get a run button over here. Why is that? That's because every time we write a single letter, CodePen runs it automatically, which means that every time we write a single letter, we're gonna get an error after error after error. In order to avoid that, I have turned off this setting. Every time we finish writing our code, we can manually run it like this. Okay, now let's look at the synchronous system example. So over here you write synchronous, S-Y-N-C-H-R-O-N-O-U-S, synchronous, like this, and you comment this like this. And over here we're gonna write console.log 5 times. How many times? 5 times, like this. Follow me. Console.log, okay, brackets, double quotes, space over here. Okay, you copy this, Control C, and then Control V 5 times. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Keep some gap over here as well, additional gaps, like this. All right, so over here we're gonna write a full sentence. Okay, I eat ice cream with a spoon. So we're gonna divide it by phrases. Okay, then follow me along. I eat ice cream with a spoon. Okay, Control S to save it, and then you're gonna click this run over here, and then we're gonna get the result. There we go. You can see that our phrases are printed one by one serially. That's because JavaScript runs from the top to the bottom. How does JavaScript run? From the top to the bottom, serially. In this process, if anyone gets stuck, then the entire process gets stuck. This is the synchronous system. If you change the serial, let's say that I want to change the spoon from here to here. Okay, Control X, and then you paste it over here, Control V, Control S. You clear this console over here and then you run it again. Let's see the result. Now you can see that I eat spoon, ice cream with a. You see that JavaScript doesn't care about anything. It's gonna run the code from the top to the bottom. This is what? The synchronous system. Now let's look at the asynchronous system. Now over here you write asynchronous. Okay, asynchronous, done. Clear the console over here. You change the serial, Control X, okay, and over here Control V, Control S, and now come over here at the bottom. I need to make you understand a small function named setTimeout function, which is a built-in function of JavaScript. What this does is it allows you to run a function after a specific amount of time. So you write setTimeout, set, then capital letter T, timeout, this one. Okay, then brackets. The first thing that we are gonna pass as an argument is a function. So we're gonna use the arrow function. Don't worry, I'm gonna explain arrow function and the regular function. We write the arrow function like this. Okay, equal to, then this sign, curly braces. Now let's look at the difference between function, the regular one, and the arrow function. Okay, in the regular way we write a function like this. First the function keyword, okay, then we're gonna name it like this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, however you like, right? Then you put that bracket like this, okay, and then curly braces. This is the regular function. But in the arrow function, how we write it is, we're gonna write either let, var, or const, okay, like this, and then we're gonna put the name over here. What was the name of this function? A, B, C, D, E, D, right? So we're gonna write ABCDED, which is the name of that function, like this, and then equal to, and then we're gonna put brackets over here, and then this sign over here, the arrow sign, and then curly braces. On the regular function, we used to put our arguments on this bracket, like A, B, C, D, etc. In the arrow function, we place our arguments over here, B, C, D, etc. I hope you understood the difference between two. For this project, I'm going to use the arrow function, okay? The latter one, this one. So once we have entered the function inside the setTimeout as an argument, the next thing that we're going to put is the time, okay? So it is actually counted as milliseconds. If we write 1000, it's going to count as millisecond, which means 1 second. So if we write, let's say 3000, it means 3000 milliseconds, which means 3 seconds, okay? Now come over here. Let's say that I want to cut this and place it inside this setTimeout function. How will you do it? We'll cut it like this, Control X, and then inside over here, this curly braces, we're going to place it over here, okay? Control V. And now let's change it to 4 seconds. By the way, setTimeout is a asynchronous function, okay? You cut this from here, Control X, and you paste it over here. Control V like this, Control S to save it, and then we're going to press this run function. But before that, do you remember what I told you? JavaScript runs from the top to the bottom. How? From the top to the bottom. And let's see how this works, okay? You run it like this, and let's see the result. Now you can see that we have got I eat with a spoon, and then after how many seconds? After 4 seconds, we got the ice cream over here. Now, how does this system work? This is the asynchronous system, okay? Asynchronous system. Look, the cereal is over here, okay? I eat ice cream with a spoon. The cereal is over here as well. You can see that I eat ice cream with a spoon. The system is actually working like this. Look, I eat, and then this ice cream over here, it has a setTimeout function, which means that we're gonna have another hand over here. It's gonna take this function at the side, which is our second lane, okay? This is our main lane. I mean main road. This is the secondary road. It is taking that asynchronous call at this hand. And after 4 seconds, it's gonna release it on our main lane, like this. Until then, what will happen? Look, I eat. Ice cream is an asynchronous call, which means that it's gonna take it over here. After 4 seconds, it's gonna get released. Then with a spoon, after 4 seconds, it's gonna come over here. So this is how the asynchronous system works. I hope you understood it. Now we're gonna start our discussion with callbacks. But before that, if you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe because I post videos based on practical web dev projects so that you can level up your coding skills. If that sounds interesting, hit the subscribe button and join my gang. And without further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about callbacks. What are they? In simple terms, very simple terms, calling a function inside another function is called a callback. In even more simple terms, what it does is it forms connection between what? Functions. Let's look at one example with callbacks, and then we're gonna start our ice cream business. Okay, now back to CodePen. You delete everything, okay? Control A, then delete. Okay, you clear the console over here as well. Control S. Okay, so what did I tell you before? Callbacks means calling a function inside another function. So we will create two functions to form that relationship. What? Relationship, okay? Function 1, function 2. Like this. Function 1. Okay? We're going to use the regular function. Nothing complicated. No politics here, okay? Function 2. Okay? Now inside function 1, what we're going to write is console.log, okay? Console.log. Over here, we're going to write function 1. Or let's write step 1, okay? Step 1. Oh, sorry. Like this. Step 1. And inside over here, we're going to write console.log step 2. Like this. In order to run this function, what do? We write the name of the function at the bottom, like this. Look. We call it like this, 1, then brackets over here. Control S, you run this button over here after you cleared the console, okay? Run it like this, and we're gonna see step 1 on the console. Let's wait. There we go. This is step 1, okay? And how do we call the function 2? In the same process, we write it over here. I mean, we call it over here like this, okay? Control S. Don't forget to clear the console over here. Clear it like this, and then you press this run button. Now you can see that we have step 1, step 2. That's because we have an order, right? JavaScript runs from the top to the bottom. Look which one is first. 1 is first, and then 2. But if we reverse the order, if I write 2 first and then 1 like this, Control X, Control V like this. So first is 2 and then 1. So what will happen? 2 will run first and then 1. Clear the console, save it, run it. You can see that we have step 2 first and then step 1. These are regular functions. Now let's form a relationship between these two using a callback. What? A callback, okay? Let's remove this, okay? Now we're gonna make a connection of function 2 inside function 1. So how do you do it? We do it using a argument. We're gonna write over here call2, C-A-L-L hyphen, okay? 2. This is nothing. This is just an argument, okay? Nothing else. And over here we're gonna write step 1 complete, okay? This is nothing special. This is just gonna get printed on our console, okay? Please call step 2 like this, okay? Like this. Now in order to provoke function 2, what we do is we take this argument over here, call 2, and then as number 2, function is a function, what we're gonna write is we're gonna give brackets over here like this, and now it's gonna call it every time once our console.log is printed like this. Look, we don't have to call 2 anymore, we just call 1, and then inside over here we're gonna pass function number 2. Which one? Function number 2, okay? 2 like this. Look, how did I form a relationship between these two? If you clear the console, save it, run it, let's see the result. Look what is happening. Step 1 complete. Please call step 2. And then we have the step 2. If you remember, JavaScript runs from the top to the bottom, right? So our console.log is at the first and then call 2. But if you reverse the order, what will happen? Let's see. Control X, okay? Call it over here, Control V, Control S, okay? And now clear the console, run it, and let's see what happens. Now you can see that step 2 is first and then step 1 complete. Please call step 2. Don't worry about this if you don't understand it. We're gonna look at another example right now. For that, we're gonna start our ice cream business right now. For that, we need to know the relationship between our customers and us. You can see that this is the flow, okay? First, we get the order from the customers. Then we're gonna fetch the ingredients. Then we're gonna start the production, and then we're gonna serve ice cream, okay? So we're gonna create 2 functions. How many functions? 2 functions. Order function, production function, okay? If we don't get the order, we cannot start the production. This is how we are forming a connection between these 2 functions. Using what? Tell me. Using a callback. Come on, let's go to CodePen and see the example. Come over to CodePen over here, you delete everything. Okay? We're gonna use arrow function. What function? Arrow function. Right? Let, first is order, because without the order, the production doesn't start. Okay? Order equal to brackets, then arrow sign, curly braces like this. Okay? Now write the production function. But before that, clear this console. Okay? Let production, here we're gonna make the ice cream, okay? So once we get the order, we're gonna start the production of our ice cream, okay? Production equal to brackets, arrow sign, curly braces like this, okay? Now, in order to form that connection, that every time we get the order, the production will start, we do it like this, okay? You come over here, okay? You pass an argument. We're gonna name it call production, okay? Call underscore production, okay? and inside this curly braces we're gonna write the same thing, okay, the exact same name, Control C, Control V over here, and then brackets, okay, brackets like this. And look at there, we have formed a relationship between these two functions using what? A callback. Now let's test it. Now we're gonna write console.log, okay, order placed, please call production, like this, okay. And inside over here we're gonna write console.log order received starting production, like this, okay. Now in order to run our function, what we will do is we're gonna write order over here, order, and inside that order we're gonna write the production. We're gonna pass this function over here, inside here, okay, production, like this, okay. So Control S, clear the console, save it, run it, let's see what happens. Now you can see that we have order placed, please call production, and then we got order received, start production. I hope you understand how the system works of forming relationship between functions using a callback. Now let's understand one more thing, the relationship between the front end and the back end. The front end is our kitchen where we will make the ice cream, and the back end is where we will store ingredients like fruits, liquid stuffs, machineries, raw materials, chocolate, etc. You know what raw materials means, right? The stocks, our stocks. So the stocks is the back end, kitchen is the front end, okay? So we're gonna store our stocks inside a variable, okay? So come over to CodePen over here at the very top, okay? You keep some space over here and we're gonna write let, okay? Let stocks. So this variable will hold all of our stocks like fruits, liquids, holders, toppings like chocolate, peanuts, etc. Okay, and then equal to, we're gonna create a object over here like this object, okay, and inside that object we're gonna write arrays like this, look, fruits, okay, then colon over here we're gonna store all our fruits inside what? An array, okay, like this. Then we're gonna write the name of our fruits as I have defined them over here. I'm gonna copy it over here, okay, Control C and then Control V over here. Now pause the video, take a moment to write these fruits, okay. Now how do we access a single stock from this variable, okay? We comment everything from here, from the top to bottom like this, comment this like this, and in order to select one stock, we do it like this. First of all, we write the name of the variable. What is the name of the variable? Stocks, okay, stocks, then dot. Why dot? Because it is an object. In order to access the object, we need to form a dot, and then the name of the object which is fruits, okay, capital letter fruits, and then what is this? This is an array. So how does the array works is it is arranged in the order of 0, 1, 2 and 3, okay. So in order to access that, you write square bracket, okay, and then if you want to access the banana, let's look at the order 0, 1, 2, we write 2 over here, okay. And now let's print it on the console. In order to do that, you write console.log, then brackets, at the end bracket, close it, Control S, clear it, and then run it. Look, we got the banana. In the same way, we have more stocks. We have the holders, the cups, cones, sticks, and the toppings as chocolate, sprinkles. So this is the variable that I have created, okay. I'm gonna copy it from here, Control C, and then over here I'm gonna paste it, Control V. Now pause the video, take a moment and write these stocks on your code editor. So once that's done, you clear this from here, okay, clear the console, and you bring all of this back, okay, like this. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna clean our console from here, remove this, and we're gonna remove this, okay, and keep everything else, and then you comment this from here, okay. Now the first thing is the order, right? Customer places the order. The order is changeable, which means how many options do we have? Look at our menu. We have the strawberry, grapes, banana, and apple, which means that the customer can pick anything he wishes, which means that for this we need a variable. So over here we're gonna write fruit name, F-R-U-I-T, okay, underscore N-A-M-E, like this, then place comma over here. So we have two arguments, the fruit name and the call production. The customer picks the fruit, it gets over here, and then we get to know that what the customer picked, and then we're gonna start the production. This is how we are forming a relationship between our functions, okay? And over here you uncomment this, and we need to keep it blank for now, okay? You keep double quotes over here, then comma, okay? You control S. If you remember, this is our steps along with the time. So in order to ensure the time function, we're gonna use setTimeout, and we're gonna print the steps on our console, okay? So follow along with me. First of all, we're gonna place the order by picking a fruit name, okay? Come back to VS Code over here, and in order to select the fruit and place the order, it takes 2 seconds. How many seconds? 2 seconds. So come back to VS Code over here, and inside this order function, okay, come here and write console, or before writing console.log, you have to use a setTimeout function because it takes how many seconds? 2 seconds. Set timeout, like this. And inside over here, we're gonna use an arrow function. You can also use an anonymous function, like this. Look, function, bracket, curly braces, like this. But we're gonna keep it simple. We remove this function from here, and you're gonna give that arrow sign like this, okay? And at the end, we're gonna place the time function, okay? How many seconds? 2 seconds. So we're gonna write 2000 milliseconds, okay? 2, 1, 2, 3, like this. And inside over here, we're gonna write console.log because we're gonna print the result on our console, okay? And use a backtick. We are not gonna use double quote. No. We're not using double quotes. We're gonna use a backtick. What? Backtick. If you want to access that backtick, look at my keyboard over here. This is the exit key, and this is the key to write backticks, okay? So you click this just once, and it is gonna print us two backticks like this. Now we're gonna pass this fruit name inside this console.log. So how do we do this? First of all, we're gonna write a $sign, okay? What? A $sign. $sign, and then curly braces like this. And then we're gonna place this inside here, but before that we need to write something. We need to write the stocks, okay? That's because we are picking it from our stocks, right? So stocks, then the name of our fruits, okay? So .fruits, and then what? Square brackets, right? Square brackets over here, and then we're gonna pass this inside there, okay? Control C, and then write Control V over here, okay? Now we're gonna save it. Let me show you how the system works, okay? So over here, we're gonna write 0, Control S, clear the console, run it. Let's see what do we get on the result. We got strawberry. You can see that the first fruit on our stocks is the strawberry, right? I explained this to you, right? If you can recall how to access the stocks, we do it like this: stocks.fruits, then square brackets, and then the name of our fruit. I mean the order of the fruit, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So I have placed this inside over here, and then inside the array I have placed this, and over here I have placed 0, which means that this 0 is coming over here, which eventually means that we're gonna get the strawberry. I hope you understood this. Nothing complicated, okay? Stocks.fruits, then this, and over here you write was selected like this, then Control S, clear the console, run it, and let's see what we get. Strawberry was selected. You can see that. You can notice that we got the result after 2 seconds. Why is that? That's because we are using a setTimeout function over here, which takes 2 seconds. I mean it prints our result after 2 seconds, okay? Let's start writing inside our production function, okay? So come over here, we're gonna use another setTimeout function which runs in 0 seconds. How do we do it? We do it like this, right? Set timeout, brackets, and pass a function over here like this, arrow function, okay, and then it's gonna run in 0 seconds. How many seconds? 0 seconds. So write 0 0 0 0. Inside over here we're gonna write console.log and write production has started, and that's because we got the order, right? Production has started. Control S, clear the console, let's run it. So we're gonna get the result after 2 seconds. 1 2. There we go. We have the production has started and then strawberry was selected. Now we are seeing a odd behavior over here. Why is that? We were supposed to get this one first and the production has started at the last. That's because if you focus over here, you can see that, look at the order, okay? JavaScript runs from the top to the bottom, okay? So it is saying that this is a setTimeout function, which means that it's gonna take 2 seconds, and this is gonna take how many seconds? 0 seconds, okay? So this one will be stopped. This is over here, and the call production will start immediately. So this is the call production, which is production has started over here, and strawberry was selected. This is over here. That's why we're getting this order. But if you want to fix that, what you have to do is you're gonna cut it from here, Control X, and you're gonna place it where? Inside that setTimeout function, okay, like this. Look, Control V over here, okay? Now what will happen is it's not gonna start the production unless the fruit was selected. Now let's save it, clear the console and run it, and let's see what happens. 1 2. So you can see that after 2 seconds strawberry was selected, and immediately we got the result production has started. That's because we have set 2 seconds for which one? Strawberry was selected, and 0 seconds for which one? Production has started, like this. I hope you understood so far. Now let's look at our second step, which is we're gonna cut the fruit and it will take 2 seconds. So come inside the production function. We are done with our order function, okay? You can minimize it like this. We don't need it anymore, and don't make that mistake again. Otherwise you're gonna get the reverse order, which we watched previously, which is we got the production first and the strawberry at the last. Don't write it outside, okay? Don't write it over here. You're gonna write it inside this setTimeout function, okay? So you come over here and you're gonna write another setTimeout, okay? It's gonna be 2 seconds. How many? 2 seconds. setTimeout, okay? Brackets, and then pass a arrow function like this, okay? Arrow sign, curly braces, and then the time function, okay? How many seconds? 2 seconds. 2 1 2 3, like this. And inside over here we're gonna write the fruit has been chopped. Console.log the fruit has been chopped. Control S. Let's clear the console, save it, let's run it and see what happens. 1 2. Again 1 2. So we're getting the strawberry after 2 seconds. We have got the production immediately, and then we have got the fruit has been chopped after another additional 2 seconds. Now our system is running perfectly fine. Now let's follow these steps and complete our ice cream production so that we can buy ourselves a Lambo, because why not? Now the third step is to add water and ice, and it takes 1 second. How many? 1 second. So inside the production function, where will we write? We're gonna write it inside this setTimeout function. So this is the parent, children, it will be the grandchildren, okay? So the fruit has been chopped over here. Enter to give some spacings, and you're gonna write setTimeout like this, okay? Brackets, then pass the arrow function like this, equal to, okay, curly braces. Don't worry, I know where we're going. We're going to a callback hell. This is called a callback hell, and I'm coming to that point. Don't worry, don't panic, okay? And over here you write the time function, okay? 1000 seconds over here, like this, okay? And inside over here, console.log like this, okay? Inside over here, we're not gonna write double quotes. We're gonna write backticks. That's because we have to add water and ice. And the water and ice is inside our stocks over here, which is the liquid and then water ice, 0 and 1. In order to pick them, pay close attention to what I write over here, okay? Don't focus on anything else. 1 2 3. This is the third step, okay? Inside over here, backticks. What? Backticks like this, $sign, and then curly braces, okay, curly braces like this, and you write end over here, okay, and then curly braces again like this along with the dollar sign, okay. You're gonna write was added. So if you translate, it sounds like this: dash and dash was added. So we're gonna pick the water and ice. So first of all, we're gonna write stocks, okay, stocks dot liquid, okay, as because it is the name of that object, liquid, and then square brackets like this. Over here you're gonna write 0, okay, that's because it will select the water. The first thing is the water, and then we have the ice. In order to pick that ice, over here, okay, we're gonna write stocks dot liquid, okay, then square brackets, we're gonna write 1, and it will pick the ice like this, okay, Control S, and then we have also set it to 1 second, okay, so we're gonna get it after 1 second. Clear the console, save it, run it. Let's count 1, 2, again 1, 2, 1. Now you can see that we got this after 2 seconds. We got this immediately. We got it after 2 seconds, and an additional 1 second later we got water and ice was added, which means that our function is running properly. Now we're gonna start the machine. It will take 1 second, okay. Inside this, okay, stocks dot liquid, I mean where we have selected the water and ice, okay. So inside over here we're gonna write set timeout, okay, then the arrow function over here, curly braces, and over here we're gonna write what, the time function, okay, 1000 seconds like this, and inside here we're gonna write console.log, and then we're gonna write the machine was started. Let's write the machine has been started. The machine has been, let's write the machine was started, okay, Control S. Let's complete all of our steps and then run it together, okay. The next step is we need to select the container, okay. Now if you come over to the stocks, you can see that on the holder object we have a lot of options. We have the cone, the cup, and the stick. Let's pick the cup. Oh, no, I changed my mind. Let's pick the cone, okay. In order to do that, you come over here, okay, where the machine was started, okay, and at the bottom over here we're gonna write the set timeout. So the cup takes 2 seconds, okay, so you're gonna write set timeout like this, okay. Keep some space, otherwise you're gonna get confused by yourself, okay. Set timeout, and then brackets, then over here you're gonna give that arrow sign, I mean the arrow function, and then you're gonna set it, the time over here, okay, 2 seconds. And then inside over here you're gonna write console.log. We have picked which one? The cone, right? Let's see that where is the cone? Holder, okay. Stocks.holder.0, okay. Let's write it over here, okay. Don't get confused, it is over here below the machine, okay. We're gonna give what? Backticks. That's because we are trying to get something outside the function, okay. So $, curly braces, stocks, S-T-O-C-K-S, stocks dot, which one was that? Holder, H-O-L-D-E-R. That's because this is the holder over here, okay. Stocks dot holder, and then 0. Let's come back over here. Then we're gonna give square brackets like this, and then we're gonna write 0 over here, and then we're done. What's the next step? The next step is we're gonna select the topping. My favorite. I love chocolates. What about you? Comment down below. Do you like waffles, chocolates, or peanuts? Okay, then where was I? Oh yes, we're gonna select what? Chocolates, okay, as the toppings. Look, stocks dot toppings. We have that S, don't forget that, okay. And then we're gonna pick the 0. You can also pick peanuts also as well. In order to pick that peanut, you're gonna write 1, okay. Stocks dot toppings dot 1, okay. Over here, okay, this is the holder. Oh, I forgot to write, okay, which means that the cup was, the cone was selected, okay, selected. Or you can also write ice cream was placed on the cone, okay. Come over here and write ice cream was placed on what? The ice cream was placed on this one, which means on the cone. Ice cream was placed on cone. Alright, so inside over here, give some spacings, and we're gonna pick what? The topping. It takes 3 seconds because you need some time to melt the chocolate, right? So over here you write set timeout. Okay, it's gonna take an arrow function like this, and then it's gonna take 3 seconds. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna pick toppings. So console.log like this, and backticks. Okay, don't forget that backticks like this, $, curly braces, and what we're gonna write, stocks dot toppings. We have that s at the last, toppings, and then this square brackets, we're gonna write 0, Control S, and what's the last step? We're gonna serve the ice cream. Okay, so in order to serve the ice cream, come over here. Okay, where we have written this. Oh, this is just plain chocolate. I forgot to write more text. Okay, so stocks.toppings, which is the chocolate, was added. Okay, as toppings like this. Okay, and over here give some spacing, write another set timeout function. Okay, set timeout, and over here we're gonna place an arrow function like this, and then we're gonna set the time, which takes how many seconds to serve? 2 seconds. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Console.log, then double quotes, serve ice cream. Control S. Okay, now clear the console over here. So now run the code. Let's see what happens. Okay, strawberry was selected, production has started, fruit has been chopped, water and ice added, the machine was started, ice cream was placed on cone, chocolate was added as toppings, then we're gonna serve the ice cream, then we're gonna take the money and buy ourselves a Lambo. Yay, party. Okay, now we have completed our process, the callbacks. But look at this. What have we created? Let me expand this and let me show you what we have created. It is called a callback hell. Look at here, look at this format of how it is going. Okay, look like this, and then it is ending like this. This is called a callback hell. What is it called? Callback hell. Let me show you the format. The callback hell looks something like this. Look at this format over here, and look at our code over here. It looks similar. It looks like this. Look, it looks like a Christmas tree. You can also call it the Christmas tree of hell, because why not? I know that callbacks are very confusing, and it is a hell. So what's the solution of callbacks? We have promises, and promises looks like this. Look, this is the promises. It looks very clean, very neat. So let's compare again. This is our callback hell, and this is our promises. Look how clean it looks. The thing works like this. Callbacks make relationships, parent, children, grandchildren, 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 grandchildren. It forms relationship like this. So what promises do is it takes instructions like this. First do this, then this, then this, then this, then it works like this. Which means that you can keep your code very neat and clean. So far so good. Let's start discussing our promises. In order to understand the promise, first of all you need to understand the promise cycle. So this is the diagram I made about the promise cycle. First of all, a promise is made. What promise do we make to our customers? Sir, we promise that we are gonna serve you ice cream. What? Ice cream. We promise we're gonna serve you ice cream. So there are two parts of this promise. Either it will be fulfilled or it will get rejected. Okay, so here, first of all, it comes to this stage, the pending stage. Every customer, when they come into our shop, we promise we're gonna serve you ice cream. So our customer enters our shop, sits on the table, looks at the menu, and he or she didn't order anything. He's just sitting over there. So this stage is called the pending stage. He didn't order anything, just sitting over there. So this is the pending stage. Nothing is happening. We didn't take the order. We didn't start the production. Okay? And now, let's say that the customer has placed an order. He wants mango ice cream. If we have the mango on our stock, then we can go to the next stage, which is we can resolve the promise, which means that we can serve ice cream to our customer. But if we don't have the mango, then what will happen is we have to reject it by saying, sir, we don't have mango at our stocks. We are very sorry. So let's say that we have mango on our stocks. What will happen is it's gonna get resolved first of all. And then after that, what will happen is we have 7 steps to make ice cream, right? Yes or no? We have 7 steps to make ice cream, and it will follow like this. First of all, do this, then this, then this, then this, like this. In total, there are 7 thens or 6 thens, depending on the circumstances, depending on the situation. Don't worry, we're gonna write code and see how this thing works. Once that's done, we can serve ice cream to our customers. But let's say that we don't have mango. What will happen is we have to pass through this reject stage. And then over here on this catch, we're gonna write a sorry note. We're gonna say, sir, we're very sorry, we don't have this on our stock. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. And once either we get resolved, either our promise gets resolved or rejected, this finally will always run. Let's say that we serve 0 customers. At the end of the day, we have to close our shutters. I mean, we have to close our shop. But let's say that at the end of the day, we served 100 customers, 100 customers. We still have to close our shop, right? Because the employees has to leave. We have to leave. This is the finally handler. Don't worry, we're going to discuss all of them in details. Once you have understood this promise cycle, we need to understand 4 more things. Don't worry, this is very short. First of all, we need to understand the relationship between 2 things. Time and work. What? Time and work. Because we have this list over here, you can see that first of all we have the work and then the time. That's why those 2 relationships. The next thing is the promise chaining. What promise chaining is, if you come over here, you can see that we are doing all the steps through then. This is the promise chaining, okay? So first of all we get resolved, okay? And then it comes over here. Then we return it. First of all, resolve, then return, like that. Don't worry, we're gonna write code and explain, and I'm gonna explain that to you. Alright, so this is the promise chaining. The error handling part is this one. Look, this catch handler is the error handling part when we have a reject. Alright, and the final handler, I told you earlier, right? This is the final handler. Is gonna run whether we serve 0 or 100 customers. I mean, whether our promise gets resolved or rejected. Alright then, come to your code editor. Over here, delete everything except your stocks variable over here, and you clear the console over here, okay? Now, the first thing is, the absolute first thing is we're gonna create a variable named is shop open. Follow me. Let is underscore shop underscore open, okay, equal to true. So what this is holding is, we are asking the question, is our shop open or closed? If it is true, we are serving ice cream. If it is closed, we are sorry sir, we are closed, okay? Now we're going to create a function, an arrow function with the name order, like this. Let order equal to brackets over here, then equal to arrow function. Now what we're going to do is, do you remember the relationship between time and work that I told you earlier? We're gonna write time and work over here, okay? Time over here and work over here. You can also shift the positions. You can write work first and then time. It totally depends on you. And the next thing is we're gonna make a promise. First we made the order, then we made the promise. Sir, we're gonna serve you ice cream. Like this, follow me. First of all, you're gonna write return, okay? New, then capital letter P. What? Capital letter P. P-R-O-M-I-S-E, promise, like this, look. Then brackets, give a little bit of space so that you can understand what we are writing, okay? Over here, we're gonna give brackets over here. Again, we're gonna create an arrow function, look, like this, okay? Like this, we made an arrow function over here. Now, press enter. Now, inside this brackets, we're gonna pass 2 arguments, resolve, reject, which means that we have how many stages? 3 stages. Pending, resolve, reject. We're gonna write resolve, reject. We don't need the pending. Okay? Now write resolve like this, resolve like this, and over here you're gonna write reject, reject like this. Okay, so we made a promise. Now it's time to run that promise. Okay, now we have two stages, resolve and reject. Let's write an if else statement. So write if is shop open, which means that if our shop is open, then we're gonna resolve it like this, resolve, which means that we're gonna serve ice cream. That our shop is open, welcome sir, we're gonna serve you ice cream. How are we gonna serve our ice cream? We're gonna write this work. You see this work over here? We're gonna write this work over here like this. Look, we passed the work over here, which means that when the shop is open, when our customer came, we're gonna say, sir, we promise that we're gonna serve you ice cream. As long as we have all the stocks and the raw materials, then we're gonna start working. All right. Now, if our shop is closed, then what will happen? We're gonna write an else statement over here. Okay, curly braces, and over here we're gonna write what? Reject. Reject like this, and you close it like this. I mean the brackets, and over here you write console. Oh, sorry. Console.log like this. Okay, and over here we're gonna write our shop is closed. Okay, like this. So far so good. Now you can see that we have formed relationship between with just work. Look, this work is over here, but we also need to form relationship between time also along with work. So what will we use? We're gonna use a setTimeout function so that we can form the relationship between our time and work. Follow along with me. Okay, so below this if statement write setTimeout. Okay, and then brackets over here form a arrow function like this. Look, okay, arrow function like this, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a comma over here, comma, we're gonna pass this time function, I mean the time word over here, which means that every time we need to write the order function, we're gonna place the time and the work. Don't worry, we're gonna write it. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut this resolve from here, Control X, okay, and then you're gonna paste it inside this arrow function. Now what will happen is it's gonna form a serial after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have total 7 steps. Now save this code. Let's test it. Okay, so what's the name of our function? It's order. Okay, so come at the very bottom over here, you write order. Okay, now brackets. Now look at the first thing. What is it? First thing is the time and then the work. So how you are gonna define this? Follow along with me. The first thing is time. Okay, so let's look at the chart. So this is our chart which carries all the steps. First thing is we need to place the order. Okay, it's gonna take 2 seconds. In order to write that, first of all we're gonna give the time. Okay, you're gonna write 2 seconds like this, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2000 milliseconds, and then a comma like this, and now we're gonna create a small arrow function. Look at this. Okay, and then the arrow sign. If you write the statement in a single line, you don't have to put this curly braces. You can just use directly like this, console.log. Okay, first of all we're gonna select the fruit. In order to select the fruit, what do you need? Backticks. What? Backticks like this. Okay, then $ curly braces like this. So what's the name of our stocks? This one. Okay, stocks.fruit. Let me check. Fruits. Yes, stocks.fruits like this, and then we're gonna pick the strawberry. Okay, 0, this square brackets, and then 0 like this. Now let's test it. Control S, and then clear the console, save it, and run it like this. After 2 seconds we're gonna get the result. 1, 2. There we go, we have strawberry over here. Now let's complete this by saying that strawberry was selected. Okay, Control S, clear the console, run it. 1, 2. There we go, we have our strawberry was selected. I hope you understood the relationship between the time and work function. This was pretty simple. Now let's start discussing about the promise chaining, which is this one over here, the then part. First you have to do this, then this, etc. let's come back to the VS Code over here, and at the very bottom, if you want to work with the promise chaining, you cannot have anything between the first call of the order and then your then handler like this. If you want to do promise chaining, you have to do this dot then, okay, then dot then dot then, so on and so forth. Oh, I made a spelling mistake, my bad. Then you cannot have this semicolon over here, okay, so just remove the semicolon from there. Okay, now it's gonna work perfectly fine. You can have 100 lines of spaces like this and it's still gonna work like this, but for this tutorial I'm gonna have just 2 spaces so that it can look very good and tidy. Okay, so like this, look at that, it looks quite good. And now in order to write, in order to give an instruction inside the then, let's look at our chart. So this is the chart which carries the steps. What is the next step? We need to cut the fruit and it's gonna take 2 seconds. Okay, now come back to CodePen, and over here, before cutting the fruit, let's give a call to start the production. How do you do this? First of all, write an arrow function like this, look, okay, arrow sign. You can also write it in a single line, but I'm gonna give curly braces over here, and then you're gonna return it. You have to return it, otherwise it's not gonna work. The first part is resolve, then return, 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 so on and so forth. If you don't write the return over there, then it's not gonna work. Okay, follow along with me. You write return over here, okay, then order. What was that order? The name of our function, okay, like this, look, and then you're gonna place what? Time first. In order to start the production, it takes 0 seconds, 0, 0, 0, 0, comma, and then you're gonna write a function over here, okay, arrow function like this, console.log like this, and then we're gonna write over here production has started, production has started. Okay, save it, and then we're gonna clear the console. Let's run it. So we're gonna get this one after 2 seconds and this one immediately. 1, 2. There is our strawberry was selected and production has started. It took 2 seconds and this one took just 0 seconds. Okay, now let's write the next step. What was the next step? We need to chop the fruit. It takes 2 seconds, cut the fruit. Okay, let's follow the same process. Okay, over here you're gonna write an arrow function like this, equal to, then this arrow sign, curly braces, right over here what? Return. What was it? Return. Return like this. Okay, order, we're gonna write 2000 over here, which means 2 seconds. Okay, equal to like this, then console.log, what was it? We're gonna cut the fruit. Okay, the fruit was chopped. Sorry, Control S. Okay, there we go. Following this chart, let's complete our process. Okay, next is we have to add water and ice. Let's go and do it. So over here we're gonna follow the same process. Let's actually copy this code from here. Okay, no, let's not copy the code. Okay, let's just do it manually so that you can learn it. Okay, follow along with me. Arrow function over here. Okay, return, return, order is gonna take how many seconds? 1 second. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then this sign, which is the arrow function, give a curly braces over here. Okay, and inside over here we're gonna write console.log, what was it? Backticks. Okay, then $, curly braces, that is because we need to select what? Our liquid, which is water and ice. Okay, stocks.liquid. Come at the very bottom over here, you write stocks.liquid like this, and then 0 in order to select what? The water. Okay, and over here write and. Again you write $, curly braces, stocks.liquid, and then what was it? 1. Okay, so water and ice was selected like this. There we go. And remember this is very crucial. You cannot have semicolons between thens. Okay, remove this semicolon from here. I mistakenly wrote it. Okay, space, and over here we're gonna write 10 brackets, arrow sign like this, curly braces. What's the next step? Let's see. We need to start the machine in 1 second. Okay, so write return order square brackets, then first of all you need to write the time. Okay, 1 seconds like this, arrow sign like this, console.log start the machine like this. Next step is we need to select the container. We're gonna select the cone. Okay, in order to do that, come here, .10, okay, then arrow function like this, return order. It takes how many seconds? 2 seconds to select the cone. Okay, sorry, my bad. Then the arrow function over here, curly braces, inside you're gonna write console log what was it, backticks. Okay, then $, curly braces, over here you're gonna write stocks dot, which was it, let's see, holder, and then 0, because the cone is over here. Okay, at the very bottom, holder, HOLDER, like this, square brackets, 0. Okay, then you're gonna write ice cream was placed on this holder. Okay, so ice cream placed on, it translates to ice cream placed on cone. Okay, next step is select toppings. We're gonna pick chocolate, .10. Okay, then this sign, I mean the arrow function, return order, 3 seconds, because chocolate takes time to melt, right? So equal to the arrow function, then console.log, then inside over here backticks. Okay, we need backticks. Okay, don't forget, $, curly braces, over here you write stocks dot toppings, TOPPINGS, don't forget the last S, toppings, and then square brackets, over here you're going to write 0. Chocolate was selected like this. So we're almost done. Then we're going to serve the ice cream. Serve ice cream, we're going to write .10. Okay, like this. Return order, we're going to write how many seconds it's going to take. It's going to take 2 seconds. Okay, equal to curly braces. We don't need curly braces actually, we can write it directly. Okay, 1 2 3 like this, equal to this sign, the arrow function, and then console.log, okay, double quotes, ice cream was served, Control S. There we go, we completed our process. Now let's run our code. Before that, clear this console, run it. Let's go. Strawberry was selected, production has started, the fruit was chopped, water and ice added, start the machine, ice cream placed on cone. Then where is our chocolate? There is our chocolate. Chocolate was selected, ice cream was served. Give us the money and let us buy us the Lambo. Yay! Now it's time to understand the error handling part, okay? Which is this one over here, the catch handler. In order to understand the catch handler, come at the very bottom over here, okay? And you write, don't forget to remove this semicolon from here, otherwise it's not gonna work. You write .catch like this, okay? Like this. Then write an arrow function like this, okay? Equal to curly braces like this, and over here you write console.log customer left. Like this, Control S, and then clear the console. Now this catch will only work when our promise is rejected. I mean, when we cannot serve ice cream to our customers, then this catch will work. Let me show you, okay? If you can remember this variable at the very top over here below the stocks, which is shop open. It is true. Let's convert it to false and let's see what will happen theoretically. Then we're gonna run this code, okay? Let's see. we have this if statement over here. It will run when the variable is true, but it is false, which means our shop is closed. Look at here, else, reject, our shop is closed. So false, and then this code will be run first, and then at the very bottom we have this catch. Then this line of code will run, and these things will not run. This all then it will not run. Let's do a test, run it, and let's see what happens. Okay, so our shop is closed. The first thing we're gonna get is our shop is closed. Look at this message over here inside this reject statement. Look, our shop is closed. And then at the very bottom, look at this catch handler, customer left. We are very sorry. This left, they left us. Look, the customer left. We're not gonna make the money. We can't buy the Lambo. We're very sorry. Alright then, I hope you understood this catch, the error handling part with the catch handler. Let's understand this finally handler. I told you earlier that this will run whether our promise is resolved or rejected. It will run anyways. Okay, now let's look at this example. But first, remove this semicolon, otherwise it's not gonna work. Okay, then dot finally like this, and inside over here we're gonna write what? Tell me. Arrow function. Okay, like this, equal to this sign, curly braces like this. We're gonna write console.log like this, and inside over here we're gonna write our shop is closed. Now let's write day ended, shop is closed. Okay, day ended, shop is closed like this. Okay, let's save it. Do you remember what state is it in? Our shop is closed, which is false. Okay, let's run it in this way. You can also run it in true. Let's see. Look, our shop is closed. This message is coming from this reject statement over here. Customer left is coming from this statement over here, this catch handler. Okay, and this day ended, shop is closed, is coming from this finally handler. Let's set it to true, and let's see what will actually happen with our finally handler. Okay, Control S, run it, clear the console, and let's see what happens. Okay, we got this statement, then this, then water and ice added, then this ice cream placed in cone, then my favorite part is the chocolate, yay, and then ice cream was served, day ended, shop is closed. Look at this, look, at the very end, day ended, shop is closed is coming from this finally handler. So what did you understand? It will run whether our promise is resolved or rejected. And with that, we finished our discussion with promises. Everyone, please welcome Async Await, yay! So this is actually proclaimed to be a better way to write promises. Let's go and dissect Async Await. But first, you take a break because you really deserve a break. In order to understand the Async Await, first of all, you need to know the difference between the promises and the Async Await. Let's look at an example. Come back to VS Code, CodePen, you delete everything except our this part, okay? Keep the shop and the stocks, okay? Now, in the promises part, how did we make a promise? Like this, look. Function, let's name it order, okay? Order like this, okay? No, we actually didn't write it like this. My bad, we wrote it in the arrowway function. The arrow function. So let order equal to this equal to arrow sign, curly braces like this. And in order to make the promise, we wrote what? Return new promise. Return new, oh my bad, new, capital letter P-R-O-M-I-S-E, promise like this. And then inside these brackets, we wrote another arrow function like this, okay? And inside here, we wrote resolve reject like this, okay? And then inside over here, what we wrote, if statement, okay, then this one, and inside over here, what did we write? We wrote the resolve like this, okay? Look at this. And over the else statement, what did we write? Okay, we wrote the reject over here. Oh, my bad. Reject like this, okay? We wrote it like this. This was the promise. But how do we write the async await? Look at this. Look. We write first of all the async keyword. What? The async keyword. Async, okay? We write the function order, okay, this, and then the curly braces, and there we go, we made ourselves a promise. How simple is that? But wait, the story doesn't end here. We need to understand two more things: the try catch handler and how to use the await keyword. So this is the async keyword. We need to understand the await keyword. Let's dive in. Now let's come back to our code pen and understand the difference between the promise and our async await. Only then we can understand the try catch. Okay, come over here and see this if and else statement. What did we write? How did we make the promise? We made this promise like this. First of all, we wrote the function over here, and then return new promise, then resolve reject, and then we wrote the if statement, which is if this is true. We wrote this true, true. Okay, then it's gonna resolve it. If it is not true, then it's gonna reject it like this. This is how we made the promise. And then what did we do? Okay, we comment this like this. Let me actually finish with the promise part, then we're gonna come to the async JavaScript part, I mean async await part. This is the order, right? How did we write it? Order, okay, order. This is our first start. And then what did you write? Dot then, okay, dot then, oh sorry, my bad. And then what did we write? And then we wrote dot catch, catch, I forgot, my bad, catch, catch handler, and then the dot finally handler. Okay, so this will work when what? If our promise was resolved. This will work when it is rejected. This will work anyways. It's still gonna work even if it was resolved or rejected. But in terms of this async await, let's actually test it with this, how this works. Okay, don't worry about this one. Let's comment this. We're gonna return over here. Okay, don't worry. Comment this like this and come over here. So first thing is, if you want to declare, if you want to work with promises in the async await world, then what we have to do is we have to declare this async word before the function I showed you a little while ago, right? And then inside over here you have three options, three things to write: try, catch, and finally. What? Tell me. Try, catch, finally. Over here we wrote what? The if else statement, and over here we're gonna write try, catch, finally. Follow me. You write try over here, okay, curly braces like this, and then you're gonna write the catch, okay, and brackets over here you write error, okay, curly braces, and over here you write finally like this, okay, then curly braces. So what does this finally does? It runs codes anyways, okay. Let's write it, okay, don't worry, we're gonna test it, okay. Console.log runs code anyways, okay, and inside this catch handler, let's start with the try, okay. Let's create a fake problem. What problem? Fake problem. Over here we're gonna write await. Don't worry about the await keyword. I'm gonna discuss in detail about this await keyword, okay. It's coming. Wait, you write await, ABC. So this ABC is actually pointing out to a function which doesn't exist, and I still wrote it because it's a fake function. What function? Fake function, okay. So inside this catch handler, what we're gonna write is console.log like this, and over here we're gonna write ABC doesn't exist, okay, and this error is actually written like this, comma error, okay. For now we don't need this error part, but we're just keeping it over here as it is. We just want to work with our try, catch, this console log, and this finally error, and this finally handler, in order to understand the main theory of the async await, okay. So you clear the console here. As I told you earlier, this await ABC, this ABC part doesn't exist. Look at the entire code field. Nothing exists which is named ABC, right? So in order to run this, first of all you need to provoke it, like by saying order. At the very bottom over here, write order, okay. Oh, my bad, sorry. Like this, Control S, and let's run it and let's see what happens. There we go. We got the message. First of all, ABC doesn't exist because we don't have anything named ABC. Then we have runs code anyways. Look at this, the finally handler. Do you remember this finally from the promises? This is over here. It will run code anyways. By the way, do you remember these handlers, this then, catch, finally handlers? You can also use them inside, outside the async await system as well. Let me show you a demo, okay? You write at the bottom of the order after removing that semicolon dot then like this, okay? Brackets, then create a arrow function like this, and over here you write console dot log, then write anything you wish. I'm gonna write like this. My bad. I cannot think anything of good right now. Control S, clear this, run it like this. Ah, there we go. We have got that then handler. It is printing over here, okay? First of all, we got that error, and then finally it's gonna run anyways, okay? So that is over here, and then the then. What will happen after our promise is resolve? It's gonna do this part over here, and you can also use those then, catch, finally, etc. After here, it is the chaining part, okay? I hope you understood this far. Now let's do a small test and understand the await keyword. Let's say that I am the chef of the restaurant, okay? Just look at me. I am the chef of the restaurant, okay? I make ice cream. I took the order from the customer and I'm making ice cream, okay? My bad, sorry. Okay, so I'm making ice cream over here, but I then realized that my customer didn't tell me which topping would he like. So I have to go outside the kitchen, ask the customer, sir, which topping would you like? Chocolate or peanut? Then he's gonna give me the order, give me chocolate. And then I have to return to the kitchen and start working. Look how the process is working. I am going outside, which means that the kitchen is being stopped completely. Without the chef, the kitchen doesn't work. But realize this, that there are other employees at the restaurant who is working, who is cleaning the tables, cleaning the dishes, taking orders, etc. Everything else except the kitchen is working. This is where we use the await keyword. Let's do a test and understand about this await keyword in details. Let's start. Now come back to CodePen and remove everything except the stocks and the is shop open. Okay, remove everything like this. Goodbye forever. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a function. What? A function. Which one? Arrow function. Okay, let's write toppings choice, okay, which will ask the customer, sir, which topping would you love? Okay, equal to, equal to brackets, this sign, which is the arrow sign, and inside over here we're going to make a new promise. What? New promise. Okay, so return new promise like this, and over here we're going to write resolve reject. Don't worry, I'm coming on the async await part. Okay, so equal to arrow sign, curly braces, and over here what we're gonna write, come on, tell me, resolve reject, reject, like this. Okay, now over here what are we gonna do? We're gonna create a set timeout. Let's say that the asking process takes how many seconds? 3 seconds. How many? 3 seconds. Okay, in order to do that we're gonna write set timeout, okay, for 3 seconds. So write set timeout like this, okay, and then what we have to write is, come on, tell me, arrow function, okay, like this, and then we're gonna set the time. How many seconds? 3 seconds. 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, now inside over here we're gonna write console.log. Over here we're gonna write which topping would you love. Oh, my bad. Like this. Remove this console from here, clear. Okay, Control S. Now we made a small promise that we have to go outside the kitchen, ask our customer what would he love to have as a topping. Now at the very bottom what we're going to create is a function, async function. Async function, we're going to write what? Brackets. Oh, we also have to give it a name. We're going to name it kitchen. Kitchen, kitchen over here, and then curly braces over here like this. Now follow along with me. We're gonna write console.log 5 times, A, B, C, D, E, like this. Okay, console.log, okay, like this. Control C, 1, oh my bad, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we're gonna write over here A. Don't worry, I'm gonna explain that why I wrote A, B, C, D. Oh, my bad. B, E. Okay, now what we're gonna do is, or let me actually explain why I wrote this A, B, C, D, E and all this part. Okay, the thing is, these are the steps we are working at we are working at the kitchen. Okay, we are making ice cream. We are following the steps 1, 2, 3, 4. At the very middle, we just realized which topping would our customer love. Okay, so we have to go outside the kitchen. What? Outside the kitchen, ask him, sir, what would you love to have? So this is our kitchen. We're inside over here. We're inside this kitchen. We're working. Now we need to go outside and come to this toppings choice, which is where the customer is sitting. Ask him, sir, what would you love to have? And then once we have got the data, we're gonna come back to our kitchen, start working, and then serve him. In the meantime, what will happen? Other works like cleaning the dishes, cleaning the table, taking other customers' orders will keep running. Don't worry, I'm coming to that part. Okay, now what you're gonna write is at the very middle over here, you're gonna write await. Then what? The name of this function. What is this? Toppings choice. Control C, that one, Control V, and then brackets, close it. And then what we're gonna do is, in order to provoke this function, we're gonna come over at the very bottom over here. You're gonna write kitchen. What? Kitchen. Kitchen like this. Okay, and then we're gonna define other task which is happening except myself. I'm the what? I'm the chef. Okay, other works are what? Cleaning the dishes, cleaning the table, taking other orders. Let's write them. Okay, console.log cleaning, my bad, cleaning the dishes, console.log like this, this one, Control C, Control V, then what? Cleaning the tables. Actually, you write doing the dishes. It sounds good, I guess. Doing the dishes, cleaning the table, and then at the bottom we're gonna write taking others' order. Like this. Okay, Control S. Now, let me theoretically explain you before running the run button that what is actually happening. Okay, so look, I'm working over here. Okay, I'm making the ice cream. And then I realized that I don't have the necessary direction which topping would my customer love. So I'm physically going outside the kitchen to ask the customer, what would you love to have? Which means that this entire process is stopped. My kitchen is stopped. Nothing is happening because the chef is outside. And in the meantime, other work like this one will still happen, like doing the dishes, cleaning the table, taking others' orders. And once I return to the kitchen, these two work, D and E, will work. Let's run it and let's test what will happen. Okay, look, A, B, C, doing the dishes, cleaning the table, taking others' orders. Which topping would you love? Oh, we didn't actually get the D and E. That's because I actually forgot something. I forgot to write the resolve over here. And without writing the resolve, it's not gonna return our other tasks. Okay, so come over here on the toppings choice. Okay, and inside over here you're gonna write resolve like this, brackets, and inside the brackets we're gonna place this console over here. Okay, Control X. My apologies, I actually forgot to write that part, and Control S. Okay, now clear this and run the code and let's see what actually happens. Okay. Oh, I actually have an error. I don't know why, but let's check it out. Okay, console.log which topping do my bad like. Okay, like this. Control S. Let's see what happens right now. Clear the console like this. Now you can see that we have fixed our error over here. We have written the resolve over here and we have replaced the console.log inside this line over here. Now it's gonna work perfectly fine. Let's run the code and see what happens. There we go. We have A, B, C doing the dishes, cleaning the tables, taking others' orders, which topping do you like? And then we have other works. What is happening? Let me explain again. So what is happening? Look here in the kitchen. I am working in the kitchen. Where am I working? In the kitchen. So these 3 tasks are done. Then I remember what topping does my customer likes. So I am going outside and asking him. In the meantime, others are working. Look, other people are working over here. If there was 100 tasks, they would have been working on those tasks. Okay. So once these tasks are done, in the meantime, what I have done is I have gone to the customer, asked him, took the data, returned to the kitchen, and I started working. Then D and E is completed on this bottom over here. You can see that. I hope you understood the await keyword. I hope you understood the resolve keyword. Let's reopen our shop and welcome customers. Okay, now come back to CodePen, delete everything except this one and this one. Okay, like this. Follow along with me. Delete, goodbye. And over here, what we're going to write is, first of all, a time function, because we need to set the relationship between time and work, right? So you write function, okay, time, and write over here ms, which means milliseconds. Okay, curly braces like this. We're going to create a new promise. Okay, return new promise. Don't worry about the async await. I'm coming to that part. Okay, capital letter P, not small letter. PROMISE, and then inside over here we're going to write the resolve and reject part. Resolve and the reject part. Reject like this, and the arrow function. My bad. Arrow function over here like this, and then the if and else statement like this. If our shop is open, is shop open? Look at this. Is shop open? And then we're going to write what? We're going to create setTimeout. Remember this, setTimeout like this, and over here we're forming a relationship between our time and work. Okay, so inside here we're going to write the resolve. We are passing this resolve over here, which means that we're setting the relationship between the time and work. Okay, so resolve over here, and then that ms part should be over here, ms like this. And on the else statement, else statement, so what this will do is it will notify us when our shop is closed. I mean, when is shop open set to false. Okay, like that. So we're going to write reject like this. Inside over here we're going to write console.log like this, and we're going to write shop, my bad, is closed. Control S. Now we're going to write an async function named kitchen to start our production inside there. Okay, come at the very bottom, or before that you clean the console because it looks quite dirty. Okay, so now you're going to write async like this. Function create the kitchen. Okay, kitchen, kitchen like this, curly braces like this over here, and then we're going to write try. Okay, like this, then catch like this. And if you want, you can also write the finally. That's completely up to you, but I'm gonna write it because a lot of you don't really understand how to work with the try, catch, and finally. I'm gonna explain everything in details. Don't worry about it. Okay, and over here I actually forgot to write brackets and error like this. All right, and now in order to run this, what we have to write is at the very bottom we're gonna write the kitchen, which is the trigger. Kitchen like this. Okay, Control S. Now let's actually test our function to check whether if it's working or not. So come on in this catch handler, and we're gonna write console.log like this. We're gonna write customer left. Okay, customer left like this, and over here we're gonna write error like this, and inside over here what we're gonna write is shop is closed. Okay, console.log day ended, shop is closed. Okay, now what are we gonna write inside this try handler? Let's see. Okay, one by one. If you remember this chart, the first thing that we need to pick is the order, I mean the fruit name. Okay, so come back to our CodePen over here, and we're gonna write console.log and then backticks. Don't forget that. $ curly braces like this, and then we're gonna write stocks like this, stocks.fruits, fruits, and then we're gonna pick the strawberry 0, or you can pick anything you wish from this list of stocks. Okay, you can pick grapes, banana, etc. All right, now what we're gonna do is, if you remember this, we have 2 seconds of time. How are we gonna define the 2 seconds over here? In order to define the 2 seconds, do you remember this function over here, the time function? We're gonna utilize this. Look at here. Look, we're gonna write await, and then what? The name of this function, time. Okay, time over here, and then we're gonna set it to how many seconds? 2 seconds. 2, 1, 2, 3. 2000 milliseconds means 2 seconds. Now let's test the code. Okay, as our shop is open, now it's gonna give us what? Resolve. Look at this. It's gonna get resolved. Okay, let's run the code and see what happens. So after 2 seconds, we're gonna get this strawberry over here. That's because we have set it to 2 seconds. And day ended, shop closed will be printed immediately because we didn't assign any time over here. So it is assured that that function works and there is no problem in our function. Let's complete our ice cream production business following these steps over here. Okay, now what you're gonna do is come over here, you press enter, keep some space between your code so that it looks neat and clean, and then we're gonna write console.log start the production. Okay, start the production. It's not gonna take any time. Okay, we can keep it blank for now, but if you want you can keep await time 0000. It's completely up to you, but for making you understand how the system works, we're gonna keep it 0000 so that you can know that this thing takes 0 seconds to start. Okay, now we're gonna start, we're gonna cut the fruit. Okay, so console.log cut the fruit like this, and it's gonna take how many seconds? 2 seconds. Await time 2, 1, 2, 3. 2 seconds. Okay, then we have the add water and ice. It's gonna take 1 second. Let's go, boys and girls. Oh, my bad, I wrote the wrong thing. Await time is gonna take 1, 2, 3 like this. Console.log, and we're gonna write what? Water and ice, backticks, $, curly braces, and $, curly braces, was added like this. And over here we're gonna write pick the water. So stocks dot liquid square brackets 0. Okay, stocks dot liquid, then we're gonna write 1. There we go. And over here we're gonna start the machine in 1 second, select the container 2 seconds. So how do we do this? We can also copy this, no worries, like this. Okay, Control V. First we need what? 1 second to start the machine, and then 2 seconds to select the container. So 1 second is over here, and the 2 second part is over here. Okay, 2 second part is here, and let's actually complete it all together. So toppings part takes 3 seconds, to serve ice cream it takes 2 seconds. Okay, so let's do it like this. So this is our 3 seconds over here, this is our serving over here. Okay, 2 seconds. Now we're gonna write start the machine. Okay, so console.log start the machine like this, and then console.log, it will be our select the container. Okay, backticks, $, curly braces, stocks.holder 0. It will pick the cone. Okay, ice cream placed on cone, ice cream placed on cone like this. Okay, now console.log like this. Do we need backticks? Yes, because we need to pick the toppings. Chocolate, backticks, $, curly braces, stocks dot toppings, toppings, then 0, which will pick the chocolate, was selected. At the very last, what we're gonna write is we're gonna serve ice cream, take the money and buy ourselves a Lambo, because why not? Come on, boys and girls. console.log, okay, serve ice cream. Let's save our code, clear our console like this, and let's run it and see what happens. Maintaining time, everything will run. Strawberry, oh, I actually forgot to write strawberry was selected, my bad, was selected. Okay, clear this console, save it, run it again. Sequentially, maintaining time, it will run. Look, strawberry was selected, start the production, cut the fruit, then this, start the machine, ice cream placed on cone, then after 3 seconds, we will have chocolate was selected, serve ice cream, day ended, shop is closed. But what will happen if we have false over here? Let's see, okay, false, which means that it's gonna reject it. Look at here, reject, console.log, shop is closed, which means that this else, this is reject. This thing will come, this thing will be printed first, and then look at this catch over here. Catch, error, customer left, and then finally, day ended, shop is closed. Let's test it. Look at that, shop is closed, customer left, day ended, shop is closed. This is coming from where? Let me show you. This is coming from this else, this reject from the time function. Customer left, it is coming from where? Look at this. It is coming from the catch, and day ended, shop is closed. This will run anyways. It is coming from this finally handler. So we successfully made ice cream today. And along with that, we have completed our tutorial. If you like the video, give a like, share it with a friend, and feel free to subscribe. Till then, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.